Okay, so I have actually gone through I'm going to call it my first songbook. My first songbook was indeed a book that I had, a notebook that I had that was gifted to me from my auntie in Chile, the Apochi. So what had happened when I was 13, my mum went overseas to Chile, and and she came back with gifts, of course. And my Tiapochi had sent me a notebook, and this is what notebooks look like in Chile. I'll show you. Okay, so this is the pages. In Chile, they actually have grids. All notebooks have grids like this. Whereas in Australia, we only ever see notebooks with horizontal lines. So to me, this was incredible. This whole grid thing was like so awesome. And the paper even actually felt really different to paper as I knew it. And it was very exciting. And so I decided to turn this notebook, I mean, it's all broken now, but I decided to turn this notebook into a songbook. And I started writing all the lyrics to any songs that I had made up until that point, I guess. Well, I guess, no, I kind of, yeah, I already had written some songs. And I must have then written more. It became like, it sort of kick-started me on my songwriting journey, which is kind of really awesome now that I think about it. Really nice to have had my Tiapochi be the one to kind of give me the tool to do it. Now, what I wanted to show you was this. So essentially, I've divided the remains of this book into a few little piles. So this is pile number 1, which isn't much. These are songs that I wrote in Spanish. These are songs that I wrote in English. Of course, there is more in English than Spanish. And then these are songs that I've either completely forgotten the melody to, or some of these pages are actually completely faded. I'll show you one. This one has like a whole section where there's nothing written on it. Like, it's completely faded. There was obviously some writing in purple pen, but it's faded from this section. So yeah, so I've lost some songs. And this pile over here it seems to me that at some point I decided to write little notes about some of my songs, and they don't mean anything. Most of these, they're going to go in the bin, sadly. Because these are notes like, okay, I'll show you. These are more like, we were waiting for mum or dad to pick us up. Oh, hang on. No, they're cool ones that I want to keep. It's these ones. There's a few here. So this one's like explaining that this song was written in this way. I had the tune stuck to my head one day. It was a tune I'd made up when I was young. In order to get rid of it, I decided to work on it, and so produced the words to it. So yeah, that could have gone in that pile because it's a bit funny. So it's just kind of like there's no real story to that song. No real story at all, other than the fact that there was a tune stuck in my head. Like, so yes. So there we go. So what I'm going to do now. Oh, I wanted to show you this. I'll show you. I'll turn you around again. So I found amongst this pile that needs to go in the bin, I found evidence of me being an early teen and playing this game. Do you guys have this? Do you guys ever play this game? I know my daughter does now, so yeah. Evidence. So yeah, I'll show you something else though. These were all my signatures. I had various signatures when I was 13. So funny. Look at that one. That one looks pretty cool. Okay, so that pile is actually gonna go in the bin, which I'll pop over here, sadly. Even no, not my signatures. Oh my gosh, no. I'm gonna keep them. They're too cool. And keep my various signatures. Oh, so funny. Okay, I want to read you these notes because it's so funny. When I was 13, it's funny reading my English because when I was 13, I was immersed in the Spanish community, which meant that, of course, I was influenced a lot by Spanish. And so only sometimes, my English is just funny to read. And I want to share some of that with you. Okay, so. And sometimes it's just quirky little funny stories. Okay, this song. So these were notes that I had written about songs. Okay, so we were waiting for mum or dad to pick us up from a taxi stop at the shops after school. I was getting bored. My brother and sister were playing handball, and I decided to use my time wisely. Complete with a smiley. Look at that. See? My time wisely. And so I wrote a song instead of playing handball with my brother and sister. Ever the lone wolf. Okay. This song is about a song called If You're Feeling Sad. And it says, If You're Feeling Sad was a song created during Mum's stay overseas. Now, I was 13 when she went back to Chile for like a good while, like 6 weeks or something. So, okay, this song was created during Mum's stay overseas in order to give myself console. I think I meant consolation. I think that's hilarious. Oh, so funny. This is just cute. When I was 13 years old, I must have written these notes when I was 14, maybe. When I was 13 years old, I found a piece of paper. On it were songs I'd created, written, and forgotten when I was 11 or 12. One of those was this one, which is called Rejoice This Sabbath Day, along with No Me Tientes Satanás and La Naturaleza. They're two songs in Spanish, obviously. But I think that's cute because I've seen those songs. They're in these piles, and I just completely forgot that I'd actually written songs when I was younger still, when I was 11 or 12. So that's kind of cute. I love that I found that little note. Okay, let's go through this one. This one's about a song called Fill Me With Your Holy Spirit. Okay, we'd been going to an independent church group for a while. One Sabbath afternoon, we decided to visit our own church. I was scared because I knew I'd be treated differently. I felt the need to set a good, humble example. I needed help, and the song sprang up. Oh, I don't know why I kept that one. So to explain, we left the Spanish church when I was 13 turning 14. And yeah, for a while there, my parents were kind of testing out different places to go to worship. But then we were still visiting our own church sort of every now and then. And it was a bit nerve-wracking because, and this tends to happen in all churches, when someone is wanting to leave, and yeah, when someone is wanting to leave, the group that gets left behind is kind of like, oh, well, why? Are we that bad kind of thing? So why is this person leaving? It really shouldn't matter where you go to church or where you choose to worship, but we're human, right? So it does kind of matter to the people that get left behind. So obviously I was already thinking I was going to be treated differently by my old friends because I'm not going to church there anymore. And anyway, it's sad. I hate this sentence. I felt the need to set a good, humble example. It's like, no, you don't need to try and set an example. Like, don't ever tell a child to do that. It's really annoying. This one's about a song called No Tengas Más Temores, a Spanish one, obviously. This was one of the first songs I created, and I felt truly inspired. The tune is similar to one of my mother's songs. I love that because because my mum was a songwriter too. She went through a phase in her early 20s of writing many, many beautiful Christian songs, praise songs, and I wish she'd kept them. Not sure if she has. She had them all typed up and printed out. I remember that. But I think she forgot most of them throughout, like at some point in her life. But I love that, I don't know, that influence from my mother is in that. So in my very early songwriting, which is really cool. Okay, this song. This note is about a song called Lord, I Come Unto You. One afternoon on the school bus on the way home, I had a big argument with my friend. I then decided I should calm myself down and end it, as it was making me feel guilty. I stayed quiet, letting her believe she'd won the argument. Then I created this song. That's hilarious. Oh, gosh. Okay, another note. At church, there were 3 girls who utterly disliked me, thinking I was a snob and a show-off. They made fun of me and exaggerated their indifference towards me. It hurt a lot because I knew I did not dislike them. Rather, I wished for their friendship. They never knew the tears I shed as I wrote this song. I mean, I was really sad, really hurt, but, it's just funny to read now. Okay. By the way, if someone doesn't want to be your friend, they're not meant to be your friend. Just walk away. Don't wish for their friendship. That is just dumb. Okay. When I began high school in 1994, my parents began to change. Well, more like I began to change. I began to have less interest in religion, was more indifferent towards my parents, was bossy to my brother and sister. I wanted independence. I wanted to be left alone. I thought I was old enough, etc. Those are not a 14-year-old's words, I don't think. It's a change that occurs to everybody. I came to my senses one day and realized I was only hurting my family. I knew I needed to change. But I also knew I couldn't do it by myself. I desperately created this song. That is so funny. Oh my goodness. I was 14. Like, come on. 13. Oh my goodness. Okay, one rainy night I was bored. We were traveling back home from a friend's place. My brother and sister were both asleep and the car was so quiet. I began to softly sing as the words came to my mind. When we got home, I recorded the song onto a tape, and next day I heard it and worked on it. You know what I love about this note? I love that there's the beginnings of, just really working on a song. I really love that. Like, I recorded it and then the next day heard it and started sort of embellishing it, which I think is just awesome at such, I don't know, young age in the early 90s with just a tape recorder, I think that's pretty cool. Okay. One night we had to go with Dad to where? That's an incomplete sentence. He didn't want to go alone. Go where? Okay. He had to discuss something about his job to his boss. With his boss. We were waiting and waiting for Dad when suddenly we were all quiet. Mum, brother, sister, and I didn't say a word. That does not fit. I just love the English. I looked outside the window where it was pitch dark. My ears began to ring and I had this tune in my head the whole time. I imagined being alone in the dark and decided I couldn't. The words were then created for the tune. That same night, I translated it to Spanish. It was the first English-Spanish song I made. So that's pretty cool. I like that. That's about the song Don't Ever Leave Me, Lord. Okay, last note. It goes like this. One evening we went to a friend's party. There were two girls my age who knew me well but just disliked me for being different. They were avoiding me and I stuck to hanging out with my brother and his friend and another guy that was there. I pretended to enjoy myself, although deep down I felt hurt. When we were going home, I thought, God knows what's best. Maybe they're not worth being friends with. Wisdom. I found it hard still to accept, and so the song was born. And that song is called Quiero aceptar, which means I want to accept God's will, I guess. So yeah, that's kind of cool. That's kind of nice to end on that note. Yeah, because if someone doesn't, if a friendship is just not going anywhere, just don't force it. Don't worry about that person. They might seem really cool and really lovely, and but if they're not being lovely to you, just walk along. So yeah, wanted to share that with you. Bye.